A very good afternoon and a good evening and a good morning to our dear viewers. The name is Mavin and we welcome you back to Mavin 256 to another wonderful and beautiful episode. We're talking about sports, and when you see with these men, you just understand automatically we're talking about football, talking about NBA, we're talking about all leagues in the world, local sport also. So it's a pleasure to be with you here and you're watching with us. Then I want to say thank you so much to our beautiful subscribers, to people that watch, people that pay attention and listen to what we say. It's not easy, but we understand. So thank you so much. And if you're watching for your first time, please subscribe, share, and like. So I'm going to allow everyone to introduce themselves. I'll start. I'm Mavin. So on my right, I have
Benjamin, and I'm happy to be here as well. It's been a long week. It's been a week since we last came to give analysis and results of what had transpired in the football world, basketball world, Formula One, boxing, the UFC, and every sport around the earth. And I'm glad to be back, and thank you all for watching.
Coach Mark, last week you disappeared.
Last week I disappeared. I disappeared for a bit, but I'm back. Coach Mark here. A fan of very many sports, more than we even talk about. But I'm happy to be here. Happy to engage in this debate.
Okay, thank you so much. I hope everyone had a fantastic week. I'll start with you, Coach. How was your week? Regards soccer, sports and everything.
I'm a Manchester United fan so these last few weeks. Judging by Marvin's laughter, you guys can know that these past few weeks have really been, they have been far from what I am used to. But we'll keep moving.
Okay, Benja, how was your week?
Well, in contrast to what Coach Mark had to say, I'm also a United fan, but I don't think my week went bad because we didn't win our games. I think at this rate, most of us are now used. So I don't let United ruin my week. So as alive, I had a few functions to attend. Like I kept track of all the games that were taking place all through the weekend, even with Monday. So basically my week was fine. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it was bad. And I think that was all.
I also say my week was also good. It was wonderful actually. Chelsea winning, Barcelona.
Yes, sir.
That's a support Barca, man.
So, support Barca, eh? Hey, interesting. Yeah.
So the week was also good.
Some of us, they made us support one team.
We are sorry for that.
One team.
Yeah, but a lot happened. Liverpool.
Oh yeah, there's that also.
Liverpool.
We want to talk about that.
Start with that.
Liverpool won a record equaling 20 titles to equal Manchester United's record, which was underwhelming for me and for Gary Neville, as I could see on the broadcast. But regardless, we keep moving. Credit to Liverpool, credit to Arne Slot for doing for the team. I liked that when he had a chance to speak after the game, after thrashing Spurs and talking about how it was the team, and he also had time to credit Jurgen Klopp. Yeah. That I found that very credit to Slot for that. Acknowledging Jurgen Klopp in all the celebration. That's good character. That's the Liverpool way, and hopefully that should also be the Manchester United way in a few years to come.
Benja, does that mean that Liverpool now is the biggest team in Europe?
All of UK.
UK actually, England.
No, I don't really think
I mean, one thing was Premier League.
Because Premier League actually Liverpool has since the time it was started to be called the Premier League, Liverpool only has 2 titles, and in that time United has 13. So I wouldn't say Liverpool is the greatest team in England. Though you would say it's Liverpool with United are the most successful clubs in England, which was the fact before they won this. But I think congratulations to Liverpool. They've been consistent, at least more than any other team, though. Just like Coach Mark said, the performances have been underwhelming. The teams have not generally been more competitive enough to put up a fight against Liverpool, because Liverpool has won the league with how many points?
Can I just say something, by the way? 82 points, man.
82 points.
82 points to win the league. Jurgen Klopp finished with I think 92 and 94 points
and
at some point, and he ended second in both seasons. this shows you the level of caliber of what he was facing back then. He was facing a Pep Guardiola who, for me, I didn't know that Pep Guardiola could lose after February. I thought that once it clocks Feb 21st, after Valentine's Day, Pep is done losing games. Pep is going to lock in and take Man City all the way. But man, this season has been a crazy season. Look at Nottingham Forest. So
talking about Nottingham Forest lost to Man City.
Yes,
in the
FA Cup.
Yeah, semi-finals, right? So Man City qualified for the finals.
Yeah, Man City. I mean, no one saw that coming. City has had a season full of problems, but so surprised how they picked themselves up, and they've been trying to compete.
They've been in the last how many FA Cup finals?
Yeah, they've been in the FA Cup finals for the. Is it the 50th?
I think it's fifth.
Running consecutively.
Yeah.
So I think that is a huge achievement.
Yeah.
At least Pep Guardiola has assured the City fans every season, much as we perform well or bad, we shall at least have to play a final.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing for the fans. I mean, football is all about winning. That is what keeps the fans entertained, and they. I think it's fair to say Forest put up a good fight. They played well. They missed a lot of chances. You saw that means from Kieran Gibbs. Post and out. So I think Forest were a bit unlucky, given the chances they missed. But in the end, I think City did just about enough to get themselves to the finals.
Okay, Coach Mark.
United
Bournemouth.
United Bournemouth was a story of two halves. The first half, Bournemouth. Sorry, why did I say Dortmund? Bournemouth, which is in a weird way playing as well as Dortmund should be playing right now, was playing some of their best soccer. Evan Nilsson going in, setting up that ball, and who tapped in Semenyo with a really good shot, a very good low shot. People think that it's easy for keepers to catch the shots, and they usually berate keepers for that kind of stuff. But it's really hard for a keeper to go down and grab that kind of shot.
Yeah,
so that just shows a really developed player, who was chased away from so many academies some seasons back. But you see, Antoine Semenyo's development is now continuing. Manchester United survived. They got Evan Nilsson got a red card, and then we got a 90 plus 5 tap in, like off the line. Like, as much as Rasmus Højlund is good at not converting his chances, that was one where if he didn't convert it, we would be asking questions of the man.
More questions actually. But I think United did deserve a point. I don't think United played so bad, but Bournemouth on top for the most of the game until that red card came, and United had to capitalize. They had to intensify the attacks. That is how they picked up the goal. But overall, I think United tried to play well. Players like Bruno came in good. Lenny Euros is still developing. And I think Kobe Mine and Rasmus Højlund also did well this
time around.
On Sunday.
About Garnacho?
Then Garnacho, as always, is a very good player. Promising, so direct, but he misses a lot of chances. That is one thing he should work on, I think, in pre-season, in the summer. I think he needs to get a special coach just to help him with the finishing, because he has wasted a lot of chances, a lot of opportunities.
There's a lot to work on. But credit to him, though. He's a young kid, man. We put a lot of pressure on these young kids because I call it the Lamine Yamal effect. Because of how good the man is. Everybody thinks every young kid that comes out of the blue is supposed to be. The guy still has homework and is that good. So, like, let's not kid ourselves. Garnacho is good for his age. That team needs a lot more. Needs prayers. Not just for the team, also for the coach, really, because it's not. There are a lot of things that are going wrong in the view of everyone, like you and me, and also behind the scenes. So all that needs to be fixed.
Okay. Nicholas Jackson ending his drought.
Yes.
Yeah, with a very beautiful goal. He picked his spot, hit it as hard as he could.
Hit it hard. Romeo Lavia said.
So uncharacteristic.
Romeo Lavia talked about
Nicholas Jackson. No one expected him to put up a strike. I think we are all impressed by his finish. I think he was also shocked and impressed. I mean, he doesn't regularly do that. It's not a very clinical striker, but but Chelsea played so well. I think we should give that team credit. Even Palma, though he didn't score, he didn't assist, but I think he played well. Caicedo for me was the man of the match. Given his very dynamic performance and energetic one.
But talk about the saves of Robert Sanchez.
Then Sanchez, the saves. I don't know why people are exaggerating the saves. I think he made saves he should have made.
Sanchez is a fluctuating goalkeeper. Yeah. He has his good days, he has his bad days.
Yeah. But I think over the weekend that was a good day for him.
That was a very good day.
Those saves weren't so out of this world, but
yeah.
I mean they enough to keep them a clean sheet. Then Chelsea went on to win that game 1-0.
I had Romeo Lavia talking about how in behind the scenes Nicholas Jackson is actually really prolific in training.
Yeah, I think that's what they would.
He's really prolific in training, and he said that sooner or later it's going to come out.
I don't think so.
I hope that sooner or later is very soon.
Let's
for Mavin's sake.
But the person also saying that Romeo Lavia is barely in training, right?
But he was
sick, so he doesn't attend training.
He was also good.
Yeah, but it's an injured man who is always paying attention in training.
You said Moses Caicedo was what? Your man of the match.
My man of match.
Do you think he qualifies to be the best midfielder this season?
In the Premier League?
Yeah.
I don't think he does.
No chance.
He doesn't qualify. No chance.
Doesn't?
Yeah, no
chance.
chance. But you can say he's top 10.
No chance.
Actually, defensive midfielders in the Premier League is top 5, but he doesn't stand a chance for that.
I don't think he has had.
Who's your number
I don't think he has had. It's probably one of the Liverpool midfielders.
Yeah, McAllister.
McAllister probably. It's probably McAllister. Gravenberch, even European-wise, his numbers have been world-class.
Yeah.
A man's numbers can put him on a fifth pro team. That's how good they are.
Yeah.
Defensively, he's that good of a defensive midfielder.
And then there is Declan Rice. He has also not performed.
Oh, Declan Rice.
Yeah. There's anyway.
I can't think of Moses Caicedo when there's Declan Rice.
But
I just can't.
But fair play to him. He has been really good this season. I mean, out of the many players in Chelsea that have disappointed, he has always come up and he hasn't gotten injured this season at least for the whole of it. So he has been consistent for them, giving them shape, and fair play to him. But I don't think he qualifies to be the best midfielder.
Coach Mark, let's talk about Newcastle's form. From the time they won the cup, they haven't lost any game.
Well, this team in 2025 is looking different to that team last year. Newcastle has been a team of phases. Yeah? We knew that in 2023 you could argue this, but they were literally like the best defensive team in Europe. And then we come to 2024 and then they lose. So they get a lot of injuries and they lose their identity. Now they are tapping into that attack. There is that partnership I don't understand between Bruno Guimaraes, Sandro Tonali, Jacob Murphy and Alexander Isak. That is a 3-goal-a-game machine.
Yeah,
you add in Barnes into that, that's a 3-goal-a-game machine. That Eddie Howe, and credit to Eddie Howe by the way, because people say that a coach needs to bring in players to fit his system. No, a coach needs to adapt to their players. People think that, for example, I don't want to go back to Manu, but people think Ruben Amorim's problem is his system. Ruben Amorim's problem is he hasn't been able to adapt to what has been given to him. Eddie Howe has. Imagine if Eddie Howe, someone said this on Sky Sports last week. Imagine if Eddie Howe came and decided, let's get rid of all the players. Let's get rid of Jacob Murphy. Would he be as good as he is today? No, he wouldn't. Yeah, he had to give people like Fabian Schär. Fabian Schär has been a really good defender. Tino Livramento.
Yeah, you're right. I think
Chelsea they didn't look at him, but
he has developed Tino Livramento. One of the top fullbacks right now in the world. Talk about Jacob Murphy. Since he came, I think Jacob Murphy has been an improved player. I mean, he has improved in his shooting, his direct runs. He creates space for Isak. He actually diverts the attention of the defenders from Isak sometimes because defenders know he's so direct, so they would want to come and block him from shooting. So
that leadership from Eddie Howe has really made this team
development,
much better. And in a few years, Newcastle is a team to watch out for. We might need to reevaluate the big six.
No, for that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. Just like you said,
we might need to evaluate.
They might come back next season when they are so poor.
Yeah.
So they're unpredictable. But they're doing a really good job. I mean, they have a trophy already in their cabinet. Something many big teams don't have.
I think they're going to be in the Champions League next year.
Yeah, I have a feeling. Yeah.
I really do. I think they have the legs to take them there. We have 4 games to go and it's going to be really tight between about 4 teams. I think Chelsea are safe.
No, we are not. Because we have Newcastle. We have in Liverpool, we have in United, and which are like, so those are the games. So it's now upon Chelsea to stop those guys to qualify. If it doesn't, it's not going anywhere.
So, between Nottingham Forest and Man City and Newcastle, I see one of them not having the legs to take them there because those teams have not shown me consistently as much as maybe Chelsea has been a bit off, but I know if Cole Palmer gets back to his best, you guys can do a lot.
Yeah. Okay, we shall say that the league saw there were a number of draws, and this, of course, it impacted the mid-table performance. You see, there is a lot of competition in the middle there. I lose one game.
Yeah,
you switch a lot of places.
We saw, okay, the games that we have been having, there is a big battle in the championship there. Burnley and Leeds, they're all tied on 97 points.
No, Burnley and Leeds they already qualified.
Yeah, they're already qualified,
there,
but
so
who's going to win the championship? Because they're left with one game.
I don't think that matters a lot.
I mean, winning the championship
Doesn't matter because
There's a
maybe
bonus
because
for
of the
that.
bonus,
Yeah.
but
because of the bonus, but
that bonus won't really mean much if you don't use your cards right. I mean, look at a team like Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest is one of the few teams in the last few years.
Yeah.
In the last 3 years, we have had this same routine of teams coming back up and then going back down. Immediately as they come, they go. Look at Leicester, look at what. These teams come, they have some little Premier League experience, the Jamie Vardy-esque kind of players, James Justin, and that's enough to bring them up. But when they reach up, there's no creativity in the transfer market. There's nothing to keep them there. So it really, that doesn't matter. What matters now is to go back to the drawing board. How are we going to stay up? Because Burnley has a sneaky habit of becoming a Norwich-like team. They're just fluctuating between there. They are top of the championship this season. Next season, they're bottom of the Premier League. That's not good. That's not sustainable. So is Leeds United. Leeds United is a very historical team.
Yeah.
Needs to find a way to stay up.
We go to the...
but I think what to look out for in the championship are the playoffs. The playoffs are coming, and that is what we shall have to look out for. But
Credit to Job Bellingham, by the way.
Job Bellingham.
Young player of the year.
Is the young player of the year?
Yes.
Yeah, championship.
Young player of the year in the championship. The younger brother of Jude Bellingham,
Pipe is following
who
the family,
Benja doesn't have a very good
I think
relationship
even
with,
for
but that's
the
a story
brother,
for
I don't
another day.
think it's that good, but I think
But also
the media hype coming from the brother is now attacking also the young one. But I think
I also be with Benja, but we have not seen him.
We've not seen him. He's a really good striker. His raw is physical. He's not. He
just-
channels elements of their dad.
Just maybe because of the brother's influence, but no. But yeah. Anyway, we leave it at that. We go to Barcelona, Madrid.
Copa del Rey.
Copa del Rey, and the game looked as if it wasn't going to happen, based on what Real Madrid TV had produced, and then the referees retaliating back, and then Madrid pushing out statements. The game won't happen. Later, they're like, the game is going to happen.
I saw the ref crying, man. The ref was actually crying
But
because of bullying. His kids were being bullied in school, and he was talking about it in a press conference, and he was crying. That was very interesting.
we'll go.
Try and convince me that ref is free of bias. Please try. Please try.
I think it's actually embarrassing for a very big team like Madrid to keep victimizing themselves on the basis of bad refereeing decisions, which I think sometimes have gone their way. Sometimes, now those times that they've not gone their way, Madrid has always come out with a lot of backlash against the refs. The threats to pull out of the game, actually, I don't think Madrid would actually pull out of the game.
They were already.
Yeah, but I think they wouldn't dare that. That creates a very bad picture of the game. A top club, a very big club of Madrid in size, coming out and calling out refs against decisions that are not so contested because we now have VAR. I think it only makes the game better. So if the referee goes back to the monitor and checks, and supervised or advised by his technical team in the VAR room, and they come up with a decision, then because you're Madrid and the decision is against you, then you're going to say the ref is biased, what, because they've not been playing Barca this whole time. I mean, they've lost a lot of games. Against us, no, it wasn't the ref. Certainly against Barca, they will say it was a red card for De Jong, Napoleon Mbappe. But we also, De Jong wasn't the last man. There was the last man, that was Eric Garcia. So I don't think that was...
True.
So that wasn't a red card. And apart from that, I don't remember of any other instance where a ref clearly had anything like bias applied to that game. And Madrid lost fair and square.
The Madrid's conduct in the game was really...
Before you go for the analysis, was the refereeing good or it was bad?
I think fair enough to the ref. I think it was just an average performance.
I think it was a heated performance.
Yeah,
it was a heated environment, but he did well.
I would just say even
the pressure before and after the game.
They even
overfavored Madrid.
I'm not sure about that.
We can talk about the first incidents that we saw. Okay. The first corner from from Barca, where Kubasi was pulled down. You remember? You
Yeah,
recall that?
I remember
You get?
that.
They had to forego that.
Yeah, but honestly,
there were good tackles.
That was a good enough challenge too.
But I mean, it's a contact sport, so
Yeah,
you
get you put someone.
if we call every contact,
the referee tried to be open on that games to show Madrid that we don't have any problem with you. But the players came with their bias already on them.
Yeah,
right.
And I think
True.
it goes back to Perez. I think this is a mentality that goes all the way up to Perez.
Yeah.
That is why anyone would feel entitled, because they're Madrid. They want to change the refs to what ref? The ref that they would prefer. Is that what they were saying? So I think the whole thing is actually embarrassing. And given that their arch rivals have beaten them thrice this season, and convincingly all of them, it's actually traumatizing for them. And there's a new Clasico in just a week from now, where Rudiger is not going to participate. He has just been operated successfully and knee injury. So he's going to be out till late July.
Wow, that's a tough one.
Then we all know, is it Kylian Mbappe? He's not going to participate in that game. He still has a red card to serve. Bellingham also got a red card, so he has to serve that.
So that's going to be a very interesting game to watch.
Bellingham, Kylian, and Rudiger out of that game. Even Lucas Vazquez. I don't see Madrid beating Barca this season. And I think they're going to get more embarrassed because they're playing Barca on 11th. That is May 11th, Sunday, at the Luis Olímpico. So I think Madrid, they just have to regroup, go back, work on their play. They are going to get a new coach that is now ashed because Carlo Ancelotti has already signed for Brazil. So I think generally Barca was a dominant team. I mean, it was a pedal show in the first half. On to the second half, Madrid had good spells in the game. They applied some pressure, getting the goal. Then up to 2-1. Then Ferran with a goal. Eventually, Barca was the better team. We all saw that. Though Madrid played fairly well, apart from the ugly scenes that came up at that day.
You talk about the display that was shown by the Real Madrid players.
Rudiger was out of tone, but he atoned for his mistake. He apologized immediately after he apologized. So
I don't think he atoned, but he apologized. He hasn't atoned.
Oh, sorry, he hasn't atoned, but yeah. Okay, but we can see that he is remorseful for his mistake, and it's the heat of the battle. Sometimes things get frustrating when you're losing to the same team over and over again.
That's too much. A person who's
he flashed it to the ref, and but he also said it himself. He said it himself. He's like, I am a professional person. I try to act this way in front of people. Though sometimes some of his antics in the pitch, you can see that sometimes he looks to be a live wire character. But otherwise, discipline-wise, it was just a heated contest between two teams with a historical rivalry.
Yeah.
Two things I want to credit though. Number one, Mbappe finally scored a free kick. Yeah. Me and Benja were talking about his free kick routine. Benja was saying he needs to lift the ball over the wall. At least once, lift the ball over the wall. If you look at Mbappe's free kicks for France, for PSG, for Real Madrid, he's always trying to put it low and trying to put it between the wall. But that doesn't work because the ball usually bounces back. People just kick the ball away.
Yeah.
This time he had his luck and there was a gap in the wall and he exploited that. The second thing is I want to give my appreciation to Juan Laporta. What he's doing is he's doing an amazing job of running a football club. Because on all sides they are competing for a treble. That's amazing. I've not seen a team that has done it. I am hoping that Barcelona will do it. Not because I don't want to see Arsenal win the Champions League, but just because it would be nice to see a team do it. That would be the level of excellence other teams would strive for. I wish my team could do the same. But being able to compete for it on all fronts, treble, from the women's team, from the under-19s and from the senior team, that's amazing. Yeah. We need to take some notes from these people. And just a few years ago, they were in debt. Which had never been seen before in Europe. Taking them from that, pulling all those financial levers, and restructuring the club and bringing in talent to push the women's team and also the men's team forward.
Yeah, to compete again at
the highest level. That is amazing. That's how good companies should be run. That's also how good football clubs should be run. Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Barcelona emerged as the champions. Is the youngest squad.
Yeah, 32 now trophies.
Someone posted and said
Madrid at 20.
The Messi generation used to celebrate their trophies with what? with their children, but this one
These
saying
are
it with their mothers.
with their mothers.
It's wonderful and
interesting.
And I think that was the 8th final for the coach, and he has
never lost the final. Yeah, but that is Hansi. We also saw him at Bayern, where he's always lethal. His football is always high intensity.
I'd like to know what happened in that Germany national team. Yeah. I'd like to really know what happened. There's a documentary, by the way, about his time there.
To sack Fake, because German felt entitled to win that World Cup. So the man I wish
they had their merit to win. They had their merit to sack him though, but I'd like to know what happened in that dressing room.
Benja, talk about Scots. We are seeing ex-United players that are doing wonders. McTominay.
Anyway, McTominay has been a very good. I don't want to strike off the ball, but he's been clinical whenever he gets a chance. We saw that at United last season. He used to come up clutch in stoppage time.
Yeah.
Which isn't a surprise that he's doing it right now in Napoli. I mean, it's a Conte team. I don't think Conte has a formula for playing. I think all that matters in his tactics is scoring and that winning mentality. I think Tomina has helped them a lot. I mean, Napoli had Lobotka, they had Anguissa in the midfield, which are good players, but they weren't as so creative and productive. I mean, scoring wise, shooting wise. So I think McTominay was a very good addition to that team. It gives them alternative sources of goals, apart from Lukaku, apart from
that's right.
Apart from I don't remember the names. But McTominay, my point is he has given them that bigger width in terms of scoring goals, which is something that Antonio Conte has had to explore. I mean, McTominay plays 90 minutes. And he's always playing in a number 10 position. Or sometimes when they take off Lukaku and they don't want to bring on another striker, he goes into the false 9.
Yeah.
And he's very good in the air. And he also has a good shot on him.
He's really developing into a good player.
Yeah,
that's what you really want to see. You want to see someone at that age, in their 25, 26 years.
Yeah.
Like by the time they reach that kind of age of 25, 26, they're starting to peak.
Yeah.
And that's good to see.
So Napoli bagged a win of 2-0.
Yeah.
They were at Monza. So they're now ahead by 3 points. Inter lost again.
And that's what I was also going to say.
To Roma, a very solid Roma. The keeper was man of the match. That tells you how the game went. But at the end just faced. That means it have been poor. That's only right to say. They've lost 3 games in a row, which is worrying given that they have a game tomorrow against Barcelona.
Yeah,
it is going to be a very hard game for them because it's away. And
do you think they're getting jaded? Like sometimes you see a team getting tired after having such a dominant season. Like last season was very dominant.
Like 3 seasons now, they've been at the top. I don't know what is happening to Inter, but I think there's also an element of the old players. Inter, the Jan Soma is 35, Achebi is like 35.
Achebi, yeah. But they have some young legs
is like 33.
Carlos Augusto, they have Pavard, they have some young legs there. Dumfries,
but
Lautaro.
I think they're starting to look tired. I don't know why. Lautaro is always the first to get tired, by the way. I don't know if he uses a lot of energy. He needs to do more on conditioning. But Inter have been underperforming, I would say, for the first 3 games or so. Yeah, and they are losing it in the Italian Serie, though the title race is still open. I still see them competing up to the last game, given that they are 4 games left.
Coach, okay, thank you. Coach, as we conclude this segment of soccer, I talk about the Inter-Barca game.
Okay, Inter-Barcelona. That's a very interesting game. The last time this game happened, we know it was a battle of 2 minds, Pep and Mourinho. So that's the first thing that comes to everyone's mind when you think about this. What's going to happen is I think is going to be very similar to what happened last time, because all the ingredients are showing. All the ingredients look to be pointing towards what happened last time.
Okay. Yeah, but we see a different Barca this time around.
Well, different in how?
Different
in what aspect? Because they still play tiki-taka, but it is more progressive. It is more dynamic and it is more forward thinking.
But style of play of last season and this one of this season, Barca.
No, we're not talking about the back of last season. We're talking about the back of 2010, 2011. Pep's Barca versus Jose Mourinho's Inter in 2010. It is almost the same kind of system, because when you look at Inter, it is very eerily similar. They have conceded like minus the last tie they had in the Champions League. They've conceded 2 goals from the group stages up to that last tie they had, which was very impressive. Yeah. So they're a good team that is really good behind the ball. Off the ball, they are really good. And Barcelona is a team that's really good on the ball. So we're going to see a lot of the same happening this time.
Yeah. But do you think Barca will be able to?
This young team is hungry. This Barcelona young team is hungry. I see teams. Sometimes you look at a team in the Champions League and you see that hunger, like that Bayern Munich team a few years ago that won. You see that kind of hunger in them. Hansi Flick's teams have that. They are hungry to win. That's the thing I like about Hansi Flick's teams.
Though we didn't see it on the Dortmund game.
Yeah, we didn't see it on
the smallest game. But remember, they were up by 4-1, so they didn't actually play a lot in there because they thought that game was done.
So I'm expecting both teams to put up a very strong fight. Okay. Yeah. What I know is that that tie is going to be decided at the new camp, just like last time. Okay. That tie is going to be decided at the new camp. We have to wait and see what's going to happen at the new camp, because Barcelona might lose. Tomorrow. Barcelona will need to defend. I think tomorrow they are going to start from San Siro.
No. It's at
Barca.
They're starting at Barca, eh? Oh, so if we're starting at the Camp Nou, then
I kind of think that is actually an advantage for Barca, because I mean, they shall have to go to Italy when Italy they have small stadiums in with it.
I mean, if Barca doesn't have an advantage there, Italy is not the. Let me tell you, there's one country in Europe where an away game is not to be played with, because you can win an away game in any other country.
But Italy,
it is very difficult to win an away game in the Champions League. Really difficult.
But overall, you see Barca progressing.
Barca fan in Benja wants me to say Barcelona.
No, there's nothing I want you to say. I want you to give your opinion.
Okay, I'll come back.
I see Barcelona progressing.
Okay.
I do.
I'll come back for your prediction.
They're just too good.
Yeah, Benja, we start with we go to the NBA. That has been soccer. I think for Bundesliga, it's a done deal for Bayern. So
it's not a done deal, but it's almost
a done deal.
Yeah. Pipeline. Yeah.
Okay. We go to the NBA. A lot has been happening, and break it down like last time.
So the NBA, I'll be brief. There are 2 teams I'll not talk about, because games like the Cavaliers and the Miami Heat is done.
That was very sad.
4-0 sweep.
It was very sad.
So they've been on it for
one of the worst teams in NBA playoff history in my context. One of the worst.
They've been so poor this play, and it was expected because they traded Jimmy Butler. They didn't really replace him with anyone good. So the team has been so imbalanced, and it was expected for them to be eliminated. So I want to spend time there. Then even the OKC had a sweep of the OKC swept the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah.
And, the boys of
Ja Morant said, "I'm fine" in the West 2 seasons ago, and since then he has not won a first-round playoff series. That's very sad. He is not fine.
I did that to the team. The team is so average.
He's not fine. I don't think he's fine.
But I also swept away. So the series that are interesting to talk about, I would mention the Nuggets and the Clippers. It's a 2-2 tight series. The game 5 is today. It's at Denver. Yeah. So going into that game, Denver will know they need to win. I mean to stand a chance at qualifying for round 2 of the playoffs. I think the game is going to be balanced, just like we've seen all these series from game 1. But I think the difference is going to be Kawhi still yet and Jokic.
Wow.
It's going to depend on the performance.
By the way, credit to Zubac, because I was saying a lot of smack about Zubac a while back, but he's cleaning up the board. All the rebounds, he's cleaning them up. So he's doing his best.
We'll talk about Zubac, but ultimately I see that Clippers advantage.
But that series is very hurtful to both teams, by the way, because right now, as we speak, at time of recording, the Thunder has just completed their sweep some time back. So the Thunder are just sitting there waiting for these 2 teams to tire themselves out. And Mark Dagnall is there resting his players. They're in recovery mode and he's planning for Israel. So it's going to be very hard to beat an Oklahoma City Thunder team that has a very deep roster and that has rested for, because they're going to rest for a week. Yeah. The next 2 games are not going to be each and every day. So by the time we start, it's probably going to be like next week also, on Tuesday. So they're going to have rested for like a week, which is going to be very dangerous for whichever team comes out. Yeah.
Okay, let's see, do you have for NBA?
No. So shall I have a mention? I think Coach Mark should talk about the Lakers and the Timberwolves.
Okay. Well, some of the other series are almost done. The Knicks were taken far by the Pistons.
Yeah.
The Pistons home crowd and also their fans and their former players were very interested in what is going to happen. This was a team that was literally called one of the worst teams in NBA history, but now look at them. They are competing with the Knicks. Yeah. The Knicks, who were seen as the second favorites to come out of the East at the beginning of the season, before everyone saw what happened to Cleveland. Now, they are down 3-1, so they are literally out. I don't see the Pistons coming back. There might be a comeback on the cards, but who knows? They'll have to win that game in New York. And I know, God knows they'll win that game in Detroit, because that crowd has been really amazing. The crowd at the Palace has been really amazing. What else? The Celtics are through. The Magic is a good team, but they are punching above their weight with the Celtics. They can't manage the Celtics. The 3-point shooting is on form. Yeah. Joe Mazzulla has a system that he's used to and that has worked for him for like 2-3 years now. He has really refined his system now, and the Celtics bench is also really productive. In this series, they have been really, really productive. So Jalen Suggs can't save you. Just him alone can't save you. What else? Pacers are also 3-1 up on the Bucks.
I think that is as good as done.
The Bucks tried. When Lillard came back, they tried to rescue the series, but I think a lot of injuries and team disconnect. Generally, I think it has really been bad in the Bucks. The Bucks front office has a lot of questions to answer. Whoever the general manager is, he has a lot of questions to answer, because first of all, bringing Doc Rivers last season when they were on a really good winning streak, breaking up something that was budding, who knows how far that would have got into this season.
I was losing a lot of games in the regular season. That's why
that teams have a slump. But the thing about teams in the NBA these days, they're very trigger happy. Like, a coach gets a slump and then you try to fire them. Like Mike Malone, was that really fair? Some of these decisions I think should be best left to the end of the season, where it's much more.
For Mark Malone.
Malone.
Yeah, it was just coming.
It was just coming.
Yeah, I think getting eliminated by the Timberwolves last playoffs. Then the season came in.
But the current coach wasn't he? Is one of his coordinators, one of his assistants.
Actually,
so what has really changed?
Jokic coaching the team.
Jokic coaching the team. Let's hope Jokic wins that series.
Anyway, then lastly, talk about the
Warriors. No, you'll talk about the Timberwolves. You're a Lakers guy. You'll talk about your team. You'll explain. Lakers in 5. We'll explain. You might lose it. You might lose in 5. JJ Redick has done more than
no
enough
one else.
this season.
No one
Anyway,
else.
Warriors, Rockets.
Yeah.
Where is Fred VanVleet? That guy was almost an all-NBA player. Where has he been? I haven't seen him. I've seen Brandon Podziemski. I didn't even know how to pronounce Podziemski's name until a few weeks ago. But this kid has scored a lot of points. Yeah? Like, you look at him and then you look at the players of the Rockets and you're like, what are these guys doing? If Brandon Podziemski is producing that, yeah? And Jimmy is going to be Jimmy and Steph is going to be Steph, you have no chance in that series. Now they're 3-1 up. And by the way, credit to the Warriors, because that third game, game 3, that was a tight game. That's as tight as it gets. Those are the games that make winning teams. Without playoff Jimmy, with the pelvic contusion.
Okay.
I've actually said that properly.
Don't you think Jalen Green has disappointed the Rockets and Amen Thompson going forward?
I really want to say Fred VanVleet is the most disappointing player. Because Jalen Green has had his moments. They've had moments where they were slugging. Even in this last game, there were moments where they were slugging, they were lagging behind, and he came up and kind of put them back in the game. Like he kept putting them back in games. I've seen Jalen Green. I've seen something from Jalen Green and Jabari Smith. I've even seen some very good defense from Dylan Brooks. There's something lacking from Fred VanVleet, and he's a star player. He has been part of a winning team before. He was part of the Raptors team.
Yeah.
He needs to prove that he can do it again. People say that he has this tendency of not performing as well as he's supposed to in the playoffs, and it's showing now.
But before you even start talking about Lakers, are you still rooting for them to go through?
No, I think mathematically they still have a chance. They still stand a chance of going through.
But are you still rooting for them?
That is if they win every game left.
They have LeBron James and Luka Doncic.
They do have LeBron. They do have Doncic, like he said.
They can win those three. They can.
I think they still have. Yeah. No. They still stand a chance. But I think honestly, yeah, the Timberwolves have been the most convincing team in the playoffs, apart from the Cavaliers, I think. Okay, they've been the most convincing team given the competition. Talking about Game 4, the Lakers. I don't know what JJ Redick was thinking about.
I know it.
These guys play for 2 consecutive quarters every minute.
They played the whole second half. The starting 5.
The starting 5 played.
That is
was
insane.
it the second and the third quarter? Every minute, 26 minutes.
Actually,
and yet they were
outplayed.
Yet they were outscored in those.
Yeah, the outscored, because generally, if you don't have bench production, that's part of the problem that was in Denver a while back. You can be a good team, but if you don't have a good bench, you're going to be a great team. All these, the 3 teams people are buzzing about in the NBA right now: the Thunder, the Cavs, and the Celtics.
Yeah.
They all have deep benches. Even the Warriors, you see some production from the bench players.
So I think the coach JJ Redick, he didn't trust his bench. That was obvious, right?
Yeah, obviously.
Though I think he has reason not to trust them, because
Yeah.
I mean he doesn't have the best bench. You could clearly see Luka was exhausted. LeBron is a 40-year-old. You cannot make a 40-year-old play 26 consecutive minutes in the NBA, which is so physical. They went on and lost, and I don't want to take credit off the Timberwolves, but the Lakers were disappointing in their performance. Most of the tactics by the coach.
Yeah.
Could you say they don't have a 6th man?
They don't have a 6th man. That is.
They don't have a 6th man. They need a kind of like a shooter.
And I think they're lacking a center. I mean, they're lacking a center. Their defense is the worst. But going forward, I think the Timberwolves really impressed. And Nasrid coming in with those clutch buckets.
That's uncharacteristic for the Lakers. This is like the best defensive team of this season, and they have no defense.
Exactly, and they have no defense.
Why don't they want to turn up in the series?
So the Lakers are still prone. I think the Timberwolves are going to go on and win this. I think it's done for the Lakers, given the performance of Anthony Edwards every day of the week. The Ant-Man has been impressive. Then Nasrid, Rondo, playoff Rondo actually. No one expected this.
Playoff Rondo.
Playoff Rondo. Then even Jaden McDaniels, he has also been so clutch. Actually, the Timberwolves have been the best team in the Western Conference playoffs, I think.
They are really punching above their weight with the Lakers.
And they are so solid. They are so energetic.
They are so energetic.
Very young team, very physical.
It's more like they want to win.
Yeah, they want to win.
They want to win more than the Lakers. You know, sometimes you see a team that just wins just because they want to win more than the other team. This is one of those.
And they want to make a point.
Okay, that's I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
We talk about the London Marathon. Jacobo doing something that is so good. It came.
Yeah.
The second, and I think his mission was to be the first. Yeah. It didn't happen.
Sebastian Sau's pace was really good.
It was good, yeah.
But Kipliman's pace was also decent. Was decent.
Okay.
Credit to him. Yeah. Winning a marathon is not something simple.
Some good money and
yeah. I actually didn't know what a marathon was. I knew it was a pretty long race, but I had to learn that a marathon is 42.5 miles. And I also didn't know the story behind it. Apparently, some guy died. He ran that distance. He ran in Greece, in ancient Greece. Some guy ran that distance and died. That was very interesting to see.
Oh, that's even weird. Okay.
So, credit to him. We also had a Ugandan woman who was in the top 10 in the London Marathon for women, so that was good.
So kudos to the Ugandan athletics team.
Yeah,
they did a good work.
They're doing well. I think the athletics and boxing. It's the only 2 sports that are really doing well in Uganda.
Why are you talking about boxing?
Yeah, I'll talk about
who punches above their weight.
No, at least in the Olympics we've been represented.
We have been represented
System days of 60s.
I think
Olympic boxing.
The Uganda Football Federation everything. But by the way, they're taking the rights to the National Council of Sports.
Oh.
Yeah, they're trying to transfer. But the most sponsored and funded sport, football.
Athletics. It's football.
Yeah, but they're not giving us what?
And I think with football, you don't only have to put in the money, but there has to be a lot of other technical activities. That unlike with athletics, I think athletics put in money, avail the facilities, and I think if someone.
Which facility? These guys have been training from Kenya. Imagine.
Yeah, they've been training from Kenya. I mean, Uganda lacks the necessary infrastructure, but I think it's a very good milestone. For both Kiplimo and Uganda, even the lady.
But we have a high altitude training center, which is really
the Chariot.
Yeah, I've been there.
It's one of those places.
Yeah, I've been
there. Let me tell you, if you go there,
so
the conditions are good for making a good runner. That's for making a good long distance runner. If you want to lock in, that's a place to be.
They have a good turf if you enter, so it is so wonderful up there.
Okay.
The London teams are in Europe. That's we have United.
Okay.
We have Tottenham. We have Chelsea. Okay, United is not in London, but teams are there. We have Europa games, right?
Europa games.
And
we have Europa this. Oh.
Yeah, and conference. Thursday. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to talk about conference, but because
I'll defend my team.
Chelsea is playing in a conference league.
Yeah.
Imagine a very big budget. But then I wouldn't want to talk about the conference. But I know there are interesting matchups. There is still Betis.
Yeah.
There is.
Also there Chelsea.
I was looking at you say interesting, and I said.
Betis is interesting because there is the goat. I think Chelsea. There's also. Which other teams? Fiorentina. So there are actually some good teams in there. Fiorentina made it to the finals. The ones that West Ham won.
Yeah.
So I think there's still competition. I don't know. Chelsea is playing.
Same hand. I don't know.
If Chelsea doesn't win the Conference League, that will be seriously terrible. In fact, Maresca should be sacked if they don't win that league. Yeah. There is no team in that league that is as good as Chelsea. No team.
Talk about Tottenham. Let's leave Chelsea.
Tottenham.
Yeah, Tottenham.
Spurs is playing Fiorentina.
No, it's playing the Liga team, Athletic, what?
Real Betis. Right?
I wish it was.
No, Europa. We're talking about Europa.
Hey, Spurs is in Europa.
Yeah.
So before the Liverpool game, Ange Postecoglou goes on a press conference and they ask him about his relationship with Liverpool, because when he was a young kid, he was a supporter of the Liverpool football team.
Yeah.
And he said that habits of young boys die hard. It's like I'm over my childhood relationships. And Ange Postecoglou has the right personality. Like, personality-wise, that's the coach you want. Yeah. He looks tough, and he looks rigid, but he also knows what he's doing, because you could see the football. His attacking football is high class.
But I think they're going to be this team.
But something's wrong with that team. Something is
wrong with Spurs.
But it's like Manchester United. Yeah, although they are worse than us, but the truth is, it's more than just the team and the coach.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot happening behind the scenes that we don't know.
Something rotten in the club.
You see a team like Barcelona. We've talked about Barcelona. We've talked about Manchester United. We've talked about Tottenham. But truthfully, it's about what's happening behind the scenes.
Okay,
though I expect Tottenham to do well in the Europa League finals. Manchester United is planning. What I know for Manchester United, they are planning to rotate players. Even Tottenham is planning to rotate players
it's a team
because they want to concentrate fully on the Europa League. Both teams want to concentrate fully on the Europa League. Of which winning from that side,
we might see a Manchester United Tottenham final.
Yeah, it is so possible because Spurs is playing Bodo.
That's selfish to Bilbao.
Yeah,
I think
that is a very
that's selfish to Bilbao.
Bodo eliminated was it Lazio?
Yes, it did, but
it was on penalties, isn't it?
I'm a Manchester United fan, but I can't dismiss Bilbao. Bilbao is a better team than the teams we have faced. Yeah. It's much better.
And it's even better than us.
It's much better. I'm not sure if they're better than us because we have
in the Liga. It is a very solid team. I think we do stand a chance, but you could say Bilbao equally stands a chance of qualifying. But let's wait and see.
Okay, let's give our predictions for the games that we have. We have Chelsea, we have Tottenham, we have United, we also have Barca, right?
Yeah.
So everyone you're going to give.
I'm not talking about Arsenal PSG.
Yeah,
because it's a time of recording.
Time of recording, yeah. So
yeah.
We start with the Barca Inter.
Barca Inter. You said that it's from Barca first.
Yeah, it's starting at Barca,
yeah. I'm going to go with the Barcelona win, but by a small margin.
None to which margin? 2-1.
1-0.
1-0. Eh?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Inter can come back. Yeah, Inter games are not dramatic. 3-5, 3-1, 3-0.
Okay, so your score is 1-0.
1-0
Barcelona, yeah.
Benja.
I go 2-1 Barca or 3-1 Barca.
United Athletic.
United Athletic. We're starting from where?
We're starting from United.
From Athletic.
From Athletic. From Bilbao's home.
Yeah.
Ooh, but Manchester United does well in Spain. 2-1.
Man United.
Man United.
I'll go to a 1-0 draw.
Manchester United does well in Spain.
1-0 draw.
Okay. Tottenham Bodo.
Tottenham Bodo. Bodo Glimt has been a really good team, but man, this is where they end. Tottenham. Tottenham wants this. Bodo Glimt, I'm sorry. Eintracht Frankfurt is a very good team, and look at what Tottenham did to them. Bodo Glimt, I'm very sorry. 3-0 Tottenham.
I think Bodo Glimt might stand
3-0.
Might stand fast, so I'll go for Bodo Glimt overall to go through. But for this game, Bodo is home.
No, it's Tottenham home.
Spurs home. I'll go for a draw. At all draw.
3-0.
All at 1 to Spurs. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Anyway, you've had it all from these guys, and if you think you can outcompete them, please just email me and then we'll do the best. I'll ask the two of you to give your final remarks and then we'll call it a wrap.
Final remarks, just wish everyone a good week and enjoy their games.
Final remarks. A while back I used to listen to a podcast called The Old Man and the Three by JJ Redick. I really like the guy. I like the person as a human being. So I am hoping that the Lakers can come back and win that series because JJ is a really good person and deserves to win. I don't want them to lose and then everybody starts blaming JJ.
I hope that kills.
I hope that kills, eh? And I know that this is LeBron James. LeBron James, 3-1 down in a series. This is not the first time it has happened before. LeBron James has been down in multiple series. He has the knowledge, the acumen, and the willpower to bring it back, even though he's 40-something.
Okay, that's it all from the three of us, we shall say. And we are saying thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching and sitting to listen to our words. We appreciate that. I will say if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, share, like, and comment. Thank you so much for joining us. We are out. Bye.